gentlemen, welcome to another broadcast of the SFL brought to you by APM Music. I'm your play-by-play man, James Richards, and alongside of me is Liam Crowter, owner of the London Knights. Liam, how you doing today, and how do you think this game's going to go?
Great to be alongside you again, James. I'm looking forward to seeing if this ragged Tulsa Desparados side can pull a game close back to the top of the Southern against this Tallahassee Pride team. Everybody knows what the Pride are about, looking for their 19th straight regular season victory. I mean, if they get to that 20 next week, that's going to be amazing. But the home side, Tulsa, they haven't looked up to scratch on either side of the ball. They need to start putting yards. They need to start putting touchdowns on the board. They got them parity in yards, but Sonzo Robinson needs to give Tulsa a big game today. I'll hand back to you for the coin toss, James.
Yeah, thank you. Tallahassee choosing tails, and the Desperados are going to win it, and they've decided to kick. Ladies and gentlemen, we are here in Tulsa, Oklahoma, in the beautiful Greenwood District Stadium, 83 degrees, and a 7-mile-per-hour wind out of the north-northeast. And we see the kicker here for the Desperados lining up to kick off. And the kick is away. Andrew Wheeler booting it far downfield, taking about the 7-yard line. Returned by number 17, Trevor Swain, all the way down to the Tallahassee 26. And that's where Christian Christensen's going to get the Pride offense started here. 10:56 to go here in the first quarter. We just got underway. Let's go over the starting lineups here for the Pride. At quarterback, we have number 13, Christian Christensen. Number 14 at wide receiver, Duke Wilson. Number 28 is Jaye Eniola. Number 28 at halfback, and then Ken Gossett, number 84. We have a penalty here, but it is complete over to the man we just talked about, Ken Gossett, number 84. And that'll do it for the Tallahassee starting offensive lineup. Over on the Tulsa Desperado side on their defense, we have number 21, cornerback Nate Heslip. And that penalty is a neutral zone infraction against the Desperados, so the Pride are going to move that one forward. Number 24, cornerback Kyler Murray. Number 46, free safety Kanye Rockefeller. Number 48, Charles Weeball at strong safety there. Rhett Sawyer, number 54, defensive tackle. Number 95, Gib Lito at defensive end. And number 99, inside linebacker Espen Rael. Handoff up the middle to number 21, Zach Wood, the fullback for the Pride. And he caught the Desperados off guard there, and he picked up quite a few yards. That's 1st and 10 for the Pride.
Yeah, just how impressive it is that Tallahassee have managed to maintain their success this season. As I said in the pre-game, you know, they're coming up to nearly 20 games in the regular season, wins, and nice 7-yard gain pick up there by Eniola. I think it's going to continue today. Tulsa have not had a lot in scoring. They need to get some points on the board if they want to win this game, James.
Yeah, I agree, and I think that's going to be the tail of the game for us, folks. You know, both teams have kind of flip-flopped what they like to do. We see Tallahassee coming into the game with the 4th-ranked rushing attack, whereas last season Tulsa was one of the top rushing teams in the league. And in this year, Tulsa is the 17th-ranked rushing team, but they are 3rd in passing yards. The key stat for me is going to be turnover differentials. Tulsa coming in with a -6, which is terrible. Tallahassee coming in with a +2. So I think turnovers are going to be the tail of the game. If Tulsa cannot get the passing game going and Eniola keeps running the ball like he has so far, it's going to be a long game for Tulsa. Christian Christensen drop back pass is complete out to Ken Gossett, and that's good for about 10 yards. It's going to bring up a 1st and 10, Tulsa 43.
Good first drive today so far for Tallahassee, James. You know, very methodical, very balanced offense, and you know, they've got a lot of continuity on their offense, so on defense with a few changeovers in on that side of things. But Christian Christensen, he's you know, lived up to all the expectations so far. But Eniola's been far more impressive, I would say, so far this season. He gets the ball again here.
Yeah, I'd have to agree. Strong eye pro for the Pride. Eniola getting stopped for a -1.
of a commentator's curse there, where I praise Eniola and then he gets stuffed in the backfield. So,
well, he's a grown man. I think he'll be able to work through your curse on him. But Christensen, single back, 2 tight ends, 2 wide receivers. It's a dive up the middle to Eniola. He's going to put his head down and truck a few guys. And that's good for a gain of 7, brought down by number 48, Charles Ball. But it didn't look like that was a very comfortable takedown for Mr. Ball.
Shades of Ray Bentley there on that rush from Eniola. You know, just lowering the helmet and really charging through those guys right there. Tulsa have really got to start closing down here. They got on a 3rd down, but it's really going to set the tone for the game if they can get a stop here.
Tulsa coming out in their white helmets, bright red jerseys and white pants. Tallahassee all white, yellow stripes. Christensen 5-step drop. He throws it deep across the middle on a post route, and it is complete, and that's good for a 1st down to guess who, folks? Ken Gossett, number 84. And that's good for a 1st down.
Tonya Rockefeller on the tackle there, but you know, just again, Tallahassee just slow, methodical driving up the field, and if they keep this up, it's going to be another difficult day for Tulsa. They're already 0-2. Another loss here. Going to be very much questioning the playbook and the decision making from this Tulsa coaching.
Christensen pass across the middle. That is complete to number 82, the starting tight end, Jason Stackhouse, and that's good for a 1st down. I completely agree with you, Liam. You know, we talked about how progression and how cap space for different teams have played out, and we've kind of seen, you know, the same thing out of Tulsa as we saw last year. The difference is they're replacing their future Hall of Fame running back, Deion Hawkins, with a wide receiver, Sanzo. And then we see Christensen drop back. He throws it, and it is intercepted. Folks, Charles Wee Ball saving the drive for the Tulsa Desparados, getting a pick and saving points. And that's going to be a touchback, and we're going to get to see the Tulsa offense take over on the 20-yard line.
And that just takes the legs out from Tallahassee. You know, you just driving the game, you're driven all the way down the field, you're in the red zone, and then you give it away so cheaply like that. It's really uncharacteristic of Christensen. And Charles Ball, probably the franchise guy on this Tulsa team at the moment, comes up with a huge play.
Trap play to the man we were just talking about, Sanzo Robinson, coming over from his wide receiver position to play tailback here for the Tulsa Desperados. But yeah, you know, we just got to see the cover 2 make a huge play, and now we see Tallahassee come out in the cover 2, which is pretty much what you'll see them in all game. You'll see this very aggressive press. You'll see their D-line trying to get pressure on Michael Martin here. And he drops back, 5-step drop, a little pressure in his face. He dips it out to Sanzo Robinson. It is complete, but they're going to mark him out of bounds. No gain. 3rd and 11 here.
And the cover 2 certainly lends itself to quite an aggressive play style, and that's what we've always seen, or at least we've seen for the past few seasons with Tallahassee. They really like to get pressure with their all-star D-line, and I don't expect that's going to change, but just have to be careful with the cover 2. You can let up on those big plays, and we saw that in week 1, funnily enough, with the London Knights against St. Louis, and big pass play there to get out of that tricky situation there for Tulsa.
Yeah, post route there by Michael Martin to Andre Goodspeed, and that picked up quite a bit. Tallahassee getting out of their cover 2 look here, sitting back in cover 3, and that left open plenty of windows for Michael Martin to hit him. Wide open, and that's a 1st down. Tulsa moving the ball here, sitting on almost midfield, sitting on the 41-yard line here. 5:55 to go in the 1st quarter. 2-back set, 2 wide receivers at the bottom. It's an ISO play, and that is going nowhere. Great stop by number 74, Hunter Norwood, for the Pride.
Yeah, Tulsa aren't getting a lot going on the ground so far. Sanzo Robinson, you mentioned before, he comes in to replace a huge name in Deion Hawkins, but he hasn't really had the same level of success as the big name predecessor that he comes in to replace. So
heavy single back look, and they're going to pass out of it. He drops back, dips it out to Sanzo Robinson. He does a spin move, all the effort in the world, and it almost gets him a first down. It's going to bring up a 3rd and 1. Great tackle there by number 59. I don't have him on my sheet. Excuse me, I do. Danny Atkins, the non-star linebacker for the Tallahassee Pride with the tackle. That was an interesting look. They're coming out in another heavy look here. This time, 3 backs in the backfield. Tied into the bottom of your screen. 1 receiver at the top. It's an ISO play up the middle. Sanzo not getting enough, even though he is well across the first down line. Folks, is this a little bit of did Tallahassee just get a home field call even though they're not home field, Liam?
I don't know about that. I think I'm surprised they haven't challenged that.
They get him to jump off sides. What a run. They were going to get it either way. But, man, yeah, Sanzo taking it up the middle. He was going to get the first down whether they jumped or not. Bold move out of the Tulsa Desparados, but I like it, and that's exactly what you got to do here against the Tallahassee Pride if you're going to pull out a W.
Well, you know, just so far already, even with Frank Gooden, who probably is the, you know, in the top 5 for coaches across the league, we've seen Tulsa have been smarter. Yeah, Tulsa have just had a smarter coaching game so far, and Sonzo Robinson is really getting involved, and they did well to not only get the jump on the defensive line, that all-star defensive line of the Tallahassee Pride, they managed to pick up the first down regardless. So great play there by Tulsa.
Single back look, 2 tight ends, 2 wide receivers against Tallahassee's cover 2, and it's a handoff up the middle, and it is stuffed by number 51, Jeff Eaton. What a play there. Normally when teams... I apologize. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, they're just going to keep pounding it regardless of... You know, they're going to have times when they will lose... they will lose yards based off of trying to run it up the inside and get stuffed by Tallahassee. But another penalty for... Oh, man.
Yeah, free play there. No worries for Michael Martin, who's drawn the Tallahassee D-line offsides again. Neutral zone infraction, so he said, why not? I'm just going to take a deep play. If we hit it, great. If we pick it off, who cares? We're still going to get yards here. Number 91, Taquan Hill. I believe that's the 2nd time in this drive alone he has jumped off sides. But that's going to bring up a 2nd and 6 for the Tallahassee, for the Tulsa Desparados, and they are on the Tallahassee 41. That's where I was going with that.
Yeah, they're coming into field goal range here, and it's been uncharacteristically undisciplined performance from Tallahassee. Looks like Tulsa are going to come out and pass here.
Yeah, it looks like they're sitting in a cover 3 as well. Last time they did that, Martin found a huge post route across the middle. And this time he checks it down to number 87. And that is Will Danderson, the non-star tight end, who picks up about a gain of 3 after looping around for no apparent reason. And that's going to bring up a 3rd and 2nd.
Yeah, and he's seen 2 distinctive defensive styles here. And, you know, the cover 3 is very prominent in the SFL, and you can see in situations like that, you do get up a little bit underneath. Tulsa just stopped short of field goal range, I would think, here, James. Yeah,
great pressure there by Kevin Bain, knifing through the offensive line. Was not double teamed. That honor went to EJ DeQ and Hunter Norwood, but that left him wide open to really split through and tackle him in the backfield. Tulsa going for it again, 4th and 2, heavy backfield, 3 in the backfield, tight into the bottom of your screen, receiver to the top. It looks like Martin's just going to try to draw him off sides this time. 8 seconds to go in the play clock. Tallahassee sitting in a cover 2. Linebackers are not shifted on the line, and Michael Martin says, no thank you, you did not give us what we wanted. And that's a timeout, 2 to go. 2 timeouts left for the Tulsa Desparados. And I don't know quite if they're in field goal range here. They have a non-star kicker. This is kind of deep. This is, about a 46-yard field goal?
I mean, sensible strategic convention here would suggest that you go out and fake the field goal. But, I mean, that's just me.
And they are not going to do that. They send out the punter, number 16, Cortland Weaver. They're going to try to play the defensive strategy. If they can pin them inside the 10, this may pay off. The punt is away. It's heading down, and they're going to fair catch it at the 11-yard line. Number 17 for the Pride, Trevor Swain with the fair catch. If it had been inside or around the 5-yard line, I would say you'd probably see Tallahassee run the ball here. But they got themselves a little bit of room, so they can really do whatever they want here.
And that's just the joy of having such a well-balanced offense, really, James. You see Queen City do it, and you see Tallahassee do it here.
ISO play at the middle. Iniola. Jaye Iniola getting the ISO play for the Pride, and he just steamrolls over a couple defenders for a gain of 6.
You know they're good for it.
Yeah,
you know they're good for it either way, James. You know they're good for the yards, and I wouldn't be surprised to see them come out and run it again here.
Yeah, you know, I talked to Frank a few weeks ago, and he said, we're going to catch a lot of people off guard with our run attack. It's a fullback handoff on the inside. Zach Wood only gaining about a yard. But he said, you know, after last season, you know, having the season that we did, passing the ball the way we did, we realized that we were going to have to become more balanced if we wanted to become more efficient. And so we're not seeing the crazy offensive numbers that we saw last season out of Tallahassee, but what we're seeing is a more methodical, more ball control offense, and they look good at it. Christensen throws across the middle, and it's picked off. Charles Ball with his second pick of the game, and folks, that was not Christian Christensen's fault that time. He threw it across the middle. Well, we're going to get to see it here. He threw it across the middle. It bounces off the hands. And that looked to be, yeah, Kendrick Jefferson, the non-star tight end, and that's why he is considered a non-star, folks. He will giveth and he will taketh away when you try to go to these non-star players. And this is great opening field position here for Michael Martin as the Desparados start at the Tallahassee 19.
Yeah, it's tough sledding for Tallahassee so far in this game, James. Throw out to the flats there with nothing doing for Tulsa, but you know, that's their second drive, ends in an interception, and they've given up great field position for Tulsa after Tulsa had kind of come up short with their last drive. And you know, let's see if Tulsa can actually come up and make get some points to the board. They're not very good at scoring. They're not good at getting touchdowns on the board. They've got to do it here.
Yeah, Tulsa coming in today 15th in points per game scored, and the ironic part here is they come in with 20th in points allowed. They come in 16th in passing yards allowed. They come in 18th with rushing yards allowed, and they come in at 13th with yards allowed per game. And they come in with a -6 turnover differential. And when all these numbers start adding up for the Tulsa defense, you don't expect them to have 2 picks in the first quarter and to take and keep points away from the Tallahassee Pride. But as we see Michael Martin here in a 5-wide set, empty backfield, 3-step drop under pressure, throws it deep, and it is almost picked off. Good play there by number 29, Alex Bond, roaming over from his strong safety position to help out R.J. Manley on the coverage.
So the search for a second touchdown of the season for Michael Martin. He really shouldn't have thrown it into double coverage, trying to go for his receiver there. But you know, this is just an example of what I'm talking about. They need to start scoring touchdowns soon if they want to get their season back on track, and they can't just settle for the 3, especially against a team like Tallahassee Pride. You've got to be getting those points on the board.
Yeah. Tulsa sending out their kicker, Andrew Wheeler, for about a 40-yard attempt here. Kick is up. The hold was good, and it is good. 40 yards. Put it on the board. Tulsa takes the lead 3-0 over the Tallahassee Pride here at Greenwood District Stadium in Tulsa, Oklahoma. And with that, we are going to take a short break, a short commercial break.
Join the world's fastest growing sim football community by jumping onto our Discord server. Use the Discord command in chat to keep up with schedules, news, notes, announcements, and polls. Jump off the sidelines and into the action. here where we're loading legends at the SFL.
Nice return there by number 17, Trevor Swain. And that's going to set Tallahassee up with pretty good field position. They're taking over at their own 27-yard line. Christian Christensen running back to the right, tight end to the right, 2 wide receivers to the top of your screen, 1 at the bottom. And he gets the D lineman to jump offside. That's number 95. Quick pass out to Duke Wilson, and that's going to be good for about 7 yards. But we're going to go back, and Ghibli do the defensive end, number 95, the guilty party, jumping off sides there.
Doesn't that just frustrate you? The guy that you're paying money to is the one who is jumping off sides there. But I think Tallahassee, sensible play there, getting out to the right-hand side and picking up penalty and a few yards extra. They're going to take the penalty anyway and get the first down and maybe look at going long. End the first quarter, though, so that gives the Desparados a bit of a respite.
Yeah, fun fact of the first quarter. Tomorrow is Frank Gooden's birthday, folks. And it looks like Tulsa's doing all they can to deliver him a very terrible birthday gift. They're going to try to beat him. As Liam mentioned to start the game, Tallahassee on an 18-game win streak. Christian Christensen under center, 2 backs, twins to the top. It's an ISO play up the middle to Gaye Eniola. He's dragging some people, and he gets it down to the Tallahassee 35, and that's going to bring up a 2nd and 2.
Yeah, back to the slow, methodical driving by Tallahassee Pride. I think on this one we might see them try and bomb it out a bit here. It looks like he's in the shotgun. He's getting everything up for it.
They're in a cover 2 look. This is a very interesting. Maybe this is a cover 0. And he throws a deep one. Wow. Folks, I have not seen a cover 0 in a very long time, but that is what we just saw out of the Tulsa Desparados. And if you don't know what a cover 0 is, that's where there is no help over the top. And you saw there, that was Ken Gossett. He had got behind all the defenders, and if Christian Christensen had just put a little more juice on it, that would have been 6, folks. We see Tulsa coming out in a cover 3 now. CC under center, 1 back in the backfield, offset. And it is a counter play, but Eniola dragging people, breaking tackles, breaking another tackle. And he is brought down by number 46, Kanye Rockefeller. And praise the SFL gods for that, because if he hadn't brought down Eniola, that might have been 6, folks. Counterplay, breaks 1 tackle. Richard Newton couldn't bring him down. Good blocks. And then, man, Kanye Rockefeller holding on for dear life.
Yeah, they had the number 49 on him there, but Eniola broke through. Great running there to try and break free from Kanye Rockefeller. Just not able to do it just about. But Tallahassee looking in good shape to go and get some points here, and they're in the shotgun again, so let's pass it.
CC, 2 tight end, or 2 receivers to the top, and he's under pressure. He throws a wobbler, but it is complete, and that is good to number 82, Jason Stackhouse, the non-star tight end, and that's going to be good for a Tallahassee first down.
That's just the mark of a top quality quarterback there, James. Under a lot of pressure, not only from the defensive players, but also his offensive line getting pushed back right up to when he's trying to throw it in the pocket. But a great throw over the middle, and that's what happens when you throw a lot of people up to try and get to the quarterback. You give the receivers that space to actually deliver that pass. So
yeah, we saw Espinal even joining in on the blitz. Eniola on the run. He's going to get stuffed there by number 54 of the Desperado defense. I apologize. I do not have his number. But that, oh, I do. That is Sawyer. Rhett Sawyer. Sorry. They have 54 all the way bottom on the roster list. That is awkward. We'll get that fixed. CC under center. 1 tight end to the top of the screen. 2 tight ends, excuse me. Pass is deep across the middle. It is tipped up by about 14 Tulsa Desperado players, and then you're trying to do quick math here, folks. I'm telling you, it was 14, and they still couldn't pick it off, and that's going to bring up a 3rd and 10 here for the Tallahassee Pride.
Yeah, real tip drill there. But there was a whole crowd of Tulsa defenders looking to pick the ball off, and the league has been pretty interception heavy, to say the least. I've certainly seen that in my experience with the London Knights. So
yeah, 13 picks for your London Knights to the next closest team at 6. And the pass is complete, but it's going to be short. King Gossett reeling it in a yard short of the first down marker. And that's going to bring up a 4th and 1. Let's see what the Pride decide to do.
There's been a few cases there where could be challenged. I don't think that one. I don't think he managed to get the ball just close enough. So I think you're probably going to see them try and... oh no, there we go. He's going for the challenge.
Well, this could be dangerous. This could be dangerous for Tulsa here, because not only are they challenging whether he caught the ball, but out of this challenge, they can also check the spot of the ball, which was dangerously close. So they're going to look to see if he got 2 feet in, but then you're going to see him stretch the ball across the marker. But it doesn't matter because he only got 1 in there. Let's see if R62 is going to give it to him.
After review, the pass has been ruled incomplete. The catch was made out of bounds.
And they are not. That time R62 got it right, but we've seen him in the past on several games where receivers have gotten about 13 feet inbounds, and he still called him out. But that time, I think R62 got it right, and Tallahassee's going to send out Richard Douglas to try to tie up the score.
Yeah, you know, interesting decision there from Tulsa, but I've already complimented their coaching decision compared to Tallahassee so far today, and it's looking like continuing. Hopefully, it's going to bear out, and whilst the Pride have managed to level it up, Tulsa has certainly not looked like an 0-2 team so far, James.
Yeah, Richard Douglas knocking it through, and on that note, we're going to take another short commercial break.
Follow the SFL on Twitter at SimulationFL, on Facebook, and subscribe to our YouTube and Twitch channels. You're already here, right? Might as well stay tuned. Get league updates on your phone while browsing the internet, and make sure you never miss a live broadcast. Thank you for supporting the SFL.
Yeah, good kickoff and a good return. Charles Ball on the return, getting it all the way down to the Tulsa 34. 8:40 left to go here in the second quarter. We've got a tied ball game here in Greenwood District Stadium in beautiful Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Yeah, it was a great juke there by Ball to get a few extra yards on the return. I'm a real fan of having the safety as a returner. We've seen him have some great success. Jeffrey Daggs, for example, another London product. He's moved over to Mexico City, and he's had just as much of an impact over there as he had in across the pond.
Yeah, Michael Martin there taking a deep shot on the fade over to Stephen Bush, but great defense here by Tallahassee. You know, deep passes are going to be hard to pull off against a team who predominantly runs a cover 2. So if the receiver doesn't break past them, you know, on that first exchange and doesn't get behind him, a lot of those times that becomes a dangerous ball to throw by the quarterback. 5-step drop by Martin. He's going to scramble, and he's under pressure, and he is sacked, brought down by Hunter Norwood, the defensive tackle for the Pride, and Martin had nowhere to go.
I think that might be their first sack of the day, James, if I'm not mistaken, but probably wouldn't have been expecting it with just how prolific this Tallahassee defensive line is. It would have had to wait until the second quarter, but some great penetration there. Get through to Martin, and going to have to bomb it out again here on 3rd down. He's in the shotgun. Yeah,
5 wide here for Martin, 3rd and 16. He's going to take a 3-step drop. He throws a corner route deep, and it is complete. Stephen Bush has got room to run, folks, and he gets it down all the way to the Tallahassee 33-yard line. That was a beautiful corner route by Stephen Bush, and Michael Martin put it right between the cornerback and safety. Look at this beauty.
Yeah, not a perfect throw. It was bobbling a little bit in the air, but Stephen Bush did real great to just get a bit of separation from those 2 guys covering him and bring it in. And that was a great throw of the dice there by Michael Martin to go to his trusted wide receiver and get the yards they needed and a bit more.
Yeah, definitely. Michael Martin here under center. 1 tight end, 2, 3 wide receivers. He dips it out to Sonzo Robinson. He's only going to pick up 1 there. But yeah, if we go back to the last play, that was a very Peyton Manning-esque ball that he threw. It was accurate, but it was ugly. And Stephen Bush did a beautiful job to reel that in and pick up a ton of yards. And he's got Tulsa knocking on the door of some more points here.
Yeah, but when you're putting money into having 3 wide receivers on your contract, your contracted build, James, that just shows the kind of trust that Michael Martin has. Interception there for Tallahassee.
Yeah, great play there by number 59 for the Pride, Danny Atkins. Martin had a ton of pressure in his face, and he just threw it right to him.
Probably not someone that you'd normally expect to get something like that in Danny Atkins, number 59, the outside linebacker. Tallahassee don't roll with any contracted linebackers, so for him to get a pick off there is a real bonus to them.
Yeah, I think they're the only team in the league who does not have at least 1 linebacker on their staff. Christian Christensen coming out. 3 wide receivers, a tight end to the top of your screen, wide receiver to the top of your screen, Eniola to his left. 3-step drop. He throws it deep across the middle on a post route, and that is complete. And that is good for a first down. Number 82, Jason Stackhouse. That's his 2nd or 3rd clutch catch of the game across the middle. Post route just getting in there.
Speaking of clutch, James, I think Frank's probably decided to take it out of neutral and probably put that stick shift into 2nd or 3rd gear now to try and build up some revs. So it's probably a very British reference. I don't think many Americans really drive stick shift over there. Is that correct?
No, I think they do, just only in the country. Under pressure there, Christian Christensen throwing a duck of a ball. But yeah, I imagine stick shifts are more for rednecks and Brits. I like my vehicles automatic.
Yeah. More suited to longer driving, I would suppose. Just like Tallahassee are doing here. Getting these nice long drives and putting things into automatic right now.
Yeah, it looks like they're sitting in a cover 2. Could be a cover 4. 4D lineman. Safety showing some pressure here, or linebacker. And he did blitz, but he got picked up nicely. Eniola's going to break a tackle and truck over another guy. Brought down by Kanye Rockefeller, but not after gaining 8 yards. That's going to bring up a 3rd and 2nd. Ball on the Tulsa 41-yard line. 6:10 to go here in the 2nd quarter.
One of the telling things, I think, though, James, is Tallahassee are being drug out a bit. They're getting into these third down situations and not having to get a nice short game to get into the first down again. But, you know, Tulsa are having a deal of success managing to drag them out, get to the 3rd down, and then really test them to say, what have you got to get onto the next set of downs and get down the field? Tallahassee have had the answer so far. If they continue to kind of wear down and get to the 3rd down stage, then we'll see whether or not that also are able to get some success and try and pick it off a bit more than they have done so far this season.
CC dropping back, throwing across the middle on a short route to Stackhouse again. That time incomplete. Good pressure there by the linebacking core out of Tulsa. I think best case scenario for each team, Tulsa limits them to a field goal or no points at all. Best case, Tallahassee puts up points, preferably a touchdown, to go into the half here. 5:25 here to go in the 2nd quarter. Christian Christensen under center, and it's a trap play up the middle to Eniola. It's going to drag a few guys there for a gain of 3. That's going to bring up a 3rd and 7.
Yeah, no star kicker for either of these teams today, James. And that, you know, we've seen 2 successful field goals so far. But this kind of distance, I'd probably be a bit wary of sending my kicker out there.
Yeah, it'd be a 39-yard field goal at this rate. Christensen, 5-step drop, looking out, and that is incomplete. And that was dropped there by number 19, Wes Turner, the non-star wide receiver. And that's the gift and the curse of throwing to non-stars. You know, obviously they're not contracted for a reason, but But that's the danger sometimes. In Stackhouse's case, you get some nice catches, but then you get plays like that are, you know, easy for guys like Ken Gossett or Duke Wilson to reel in. But they're sending out Richard Douglas to attempt a deep field goal. It is up. And it is good, 45 yards. And that is another 3 points here for the Tallahassee Pride. They take the lead 6-3 over your hometown Tulsa Desparados. And with that, we're going to take another quick commercial break.
The Simulation Football League is presented by APM Music and is the official theme music provider of the SFL. Listen to their Champions Will Rise soundtrack at apmmusic.com today and search through thousands of tracks to boost the quality of your stream just like us. APM Music, production music library and custom music house.
And we saw Charles Ball there on the kick return, takes it all the way down to the Tulsa 30-yard line, and that's where Michael Martin and company will start the drive. Under center, 3 wide receivers. It's a trap play up the middle to Sonzo Robinson, and that is good for 2 yards. 2nd and 8 here for the Tulsa Desperados.
Sonzo's not had a lot of luck so far today, James. I think the Tulsa are going to have to make some adjustments at halftime to get him into the game a bit more. Another great return from Charles Ball as well. You know, another spin and a juke and dive to actually get through and get to the 30-yard line. When you get into the 30-yard line, every return that you get.
Under pressure. Yeah, Michael Martin, that time sacked. And that appears to be the rookie, E.J. DeQ, coming from the D tackle position, blew right through the guard there. Wasn't double-teamed or anything. And that's, I don't know, the Tulsa O-line's held up pretty well today, but that time you give them enough chances, they're going to get through.
Well, we know what happened last time, though, in this situation, James. Michael Martin went and balled out, and it looks like he's going to do that. He's got 5 wide receivers out here. Let's see if he can get another good completion here to get the first down.
Under pressure, he throws a deep corner, and it is complete. Stephen Bush, similar play as Liam was referencing last drive, and you see the stats popping up here. It looks like Michael Martin is getting the better of Christian Christensen, and that's no surprise as Tulsa comes in to today's game with the 3rd-ranked passing offense here in the SFL.
Well, just call me Tony Romo. That post route, they're really enjoying that today so far, Tulsa. Tallahassee are no doubt going to be a bit frustrated with getting into those situations and then not being able to follow up with the turnover. So,
dive play up the middle. Sonzo Robinson doing his best Barry Sanders, 2 spins, and that is good for 5 yards. You know, Liam, the thing I think we need to notice here is that both of these Stephen Bush plays have come against the non-star cornerback here for the Pride, and each time, you know, generally in a team that's running 2 cornerbacks, those corners don't get burnt like that too often, and this time in 2 drives we've seen that happen to the generic. And that's a handoff to the outside. Sonzo Robinson trying to bust it outside, and he is going to get tracked down by Kevin Bain, the 2nd-year man for the Pride.
That was a bit of a misjudgment from Tulsa on that play. They had a nice wide spread look there. They had 4 wide receivers out there, and you know, Tallahassee looks pretty weak in the secondary. I would have thrown it in that situation, but you know, better from Tulsa at the moment. They're within a single score, just 3 points. Do they come back and bomb it out here?
Under pressure.
Great deflection there from number 22, and that's going to bring up the 4th down. This one's probably a bit long, I think, for the kicker. I think, yeah, as we mentioned before, 2 non-star kickers today. If they can pin Tallahassee within, you know, we're talking about 5 yards from their end zone, gives them a lot of scope to bring out their strong secondary and really take a shot at this Tallahassee team. going into halftime.
You know, I must apologize. I was reading the chat here. By the way, folks, if you haven't hit the like button, please do that now. We have 32 people watching. I apologize. Tallahassee is running 2 corners. The Sprouse brothers holding it down on the corner. I do apologize for that. However, you're not a gold or silver on that second corner spot. So, as you can see, Tulsa's definitely going to be picking on that position. But I do apologize, and I will not make that mistake again.
Well, when they're giving up plays like that, James, you have to question whether or not they're a star cornerback.
I can't remember if he's a bronze or a copper player, but either or, yeah. He's definitely being picked on by Michael Martin. Handoff up the middle here to Ajayi Eniola, and that's not going anywhere. Loss of 2, brought down by number 54, Rhett Sawyer. And that takes us to the 2-minute warning, folks. Thank you for tuning in to another broadcast of the Simulation Football League presented by 8 PM Music. And folks, if you like what you're seeing, please go ahead and hit that like button. We're up to 19 now, 33 watching. Michael saying that he is a copper. Handoff up the middle to Eniola, and that's only good for a yard here. 3rd and 11. Tick-tock, 1:54 here to go in the first half. Xvila 47 says not gold or silver equals doesn't exist. I didn't say he didn't exist. I just said the coverage didn't exist.
Yes.
Joke's on you guys.
It's been uncharacteristically conservative so far from Tallahassee. Only 6 points on the board. Going to bomb it out here, but taken down. And it's a really strong situation for Tulsa at the moment. You've got Tallahassee pinned back. 4th and 17, they're on their 8-yard line. Going to have to punt this ball out now, and when Charles Bull, he's been having a good day on the return game, let's see whether or not he can get at least within field goal range, because if they get within field goal range, they go in, tied at halftime against probably one of the best teams in the league, I would say Tallahassee, and with home field advantage, anything could happen in the second half.
Yeah, Rhett Sawyer there, forcing the 4th down. The punter here for the Pride, Howard McCoy, milking the clock down to 2, and he's going to punt it away. And it's a boomer, and it looks like it's not going very far. Taken at the 41-yard line, about a 4-yard return. That's going to take it down to the Tallahassee 37-yard line. And instantly, Tulsa's already almost in field goal position here. So,
well, there you go. Exactly. It's, you know, let's not overdo it here with Tulsa. Let's just play conservatively. Get Sonzo Robinson the ball, and if he breaks off a big play, that's great. Let's not do anything stupid. Let's pick up the 3 points, get into halftime at least tied up, and then go from there.
Yeah, one back set here from Michael Martin. He's going to take a 5-step drop. He looks deep, and he's got a man, and it is defended very well by the man that I said was non-existent, but this time Matthew Sprouse showing that he can keep up with the best of them, and Stephen Bush had him beat. But the copper stud corner here, Matthew Sprouse, with a great defense there.
Yeah, you know that Stephen Bush is going back to the huddle there and saying, Michael, just bomb it. Just throw it long, and he's just come up a bit short there. See what that Tulsa can do on this.
3-step drop, and it's a fade, and it is complete to number 87, Will Danderson on the completion, the generic tight end. They're going no huddle, folks. 26 seconds, 2 timeouts to go, 23 to go. Martin scrambling under pressure, throws an ugly, ugly ball, and it's almost picked off by Michael Sprouse.
Well, that wasn't even thrown away. That was thrown to the tackle.
You know, I think we saw, I believe it was on the highlight video that we saw last week. I believe Michael Martin was the one who did a very similar play like that, except it went for about 10 yards after the corner whiffed on the interception. Either or, 2 receivers to the top, 1 to the bottom, 2 backs in the backfield. Michael Martin under center, takes a 5-step drop, no pressure, and he throws it complete, and that is good to number 10. Andre Godspeed, and they're going to call a timeout here. 13 seconds to go. Liam, how do you think this is going to play out?
You know, this has gone just how I said it would. Absolutely perfectly for Tulsa. They played it relatively conservatively. Obviously, Michael Martin had that throw out there flat, which I wouldn't have done. But they're in a great position here to get it in. Let's just see if Sonzo Robinson can get a bit of penetration. And no, it looks like they're going to bring... Oh, this is very questionable.
They have one timeout. They have 13 seconds to go. And the head coach here, Dion Hawkins, is sending out the kicking team. And he says, you know what, Andrew, just tie it up. Let's go into halftime. And the kick is up. And it is good. 19 yards on the field goal. I don't understand that. You had time to go. Liam, what do you think about that?
You got to be thinking, the Tulsa fans, if they lose this game now, they're going to be going back to that, and they're going to be outside Dion Hawkins' office demanding his resignation, which he obviously won't do because he's the team owner. But that's disappointing. You can go too conservative, I think, at times, and giving Tallahassee the ball back with about 10 seconds left, see if they can get something on this return, or maybe for a long one. It's not absolutely unheard of to hear at the end of the first half, team going and throwing a Hail Mary and getting that touchdown. So let's see what they can do.
Yeah, it was very interesting. 13 seconds to go. They were just having a ton of success on slant and post routes, and they were about at the perfect, position around the 10-yard line to do either one of those plays. But instead, they just go conservative and kick the field goal. But hey, points are points, and it is a tied ball game here in Tulsa. Christian Christensen throws it deep across the middle, and it is picked off. Number 41, Junior Stanley. I believe, yes, Junior Stanley, the nickelback here for the Desparados, getting a great tip there. And I believe that was Charles Ball with the tip, and he is balling out 2 interceptions, and you might as well give him a half of one. But that's going to take us to halftime here at Greenwood District Stadium here in Tulsa, Oklahoma. The score is Tallahassee Pride 6, Tulsa Desparados 6. And folks, let's see what happens here in the second half. We'll be right back. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back here to the Greenwood District Stadium here in Tulsa, Oklahoma. We had a very short halftime. Apparently, Britney Spears canceled her tour and forgot to tell everybody. So we're back on the field, no halftime show. And the ball is away. Charles Wee Ball with the return. He's going to take it down to the Tulsa 29-yard line, and that's where Michael Martin and company will take over.
And James, Britney Spears, she's been on a real downhill track. Oh, sorry, I forgot. We're supposed to be commenting on the game, so.
Oh, yes. Well, Britney Spears, she's an interesting folk. She tried to extend her career there, going on American Idol, I believe it was, or something, but that ended very quickly, and Michael Martin handing it off on an ISO up the middle of Sonzo. But I haven't heard much music out of her lately. I haven't heard going on tour. She's been doing a lot of these SFL shows, but apparently not this one. So better for us. We get back to this damn good game.
Well, I think we're gonna have to see which team's got the X factor. It's a real spark that. You see, you got the reference.
I'm gonna hit the button on you this time, Liam. You're definitely going to Hollywood. The chat, we got Trash Can Car, saying, damn it, Brittany. And then Eric defending Brittany. He said, leave her alone. Folks, we have 36 watching, only 19 thumbs up. It's that easy. Just look down right below the game, and there's a little thumb. And just click the one that's up. And get those numbers up, folks. Every thumbs up helps. Believe me. Michael Martin here, shotgun, 5 wide receiver, a little bit of pressure in his face, throws it deep across the middle, and it is intercepted. Number 27, R.J. Manley, the nickelback for the Tallahassee Pride, on the deflection, and that is going to be great field position here for the Pride.
Superb play by Manley, and that's bounced right out of the hands of the receiver. He's been knocked pretty heavily there and bounced it back right into the hands of that defensive back. So Good play there by Tallahassee early in the second half to get the ball back and try and get some points on the board now.
Well, at the risk of doing more puns, they're going to need this ball-hawking secondary to come up big here for the Desparados. Christensen, three-step drop, quick pass out to Aniola, and he is going to get stuffed, only a gain of 1. That play was spearheaded by number 40 for the Desperados. That's Kyron Hill, the non-star linebacker, making his way outside and stuffing them up.
Yeah, and he'll be coming round the mountain, a.k.a. the Tallahassee defensive line, to get all the way to pass out there in the flat. And
oh, Iniola's got some room on the outside, breaking tackles, and he is brought down by Kyler Murray. But, man, on that power O, it looked like he had some room to go.
You know, the number of weapons that Tallahassee have in their arsenal, if they go out flat and try and pick up the yards on a flat pass, and they can't do it, they're going to go and start running the ball through power and see if they can get it that way, and they just did. Coming out with 2 wide receivers out left here. Let's see if they go and throw it out to them here. Well,
if Tulsa keeps singing "Hit Me Baby" one more time, I think Aniola is going to give it to him. He's going to hit him about probably 100 more times this game. They're going to keep handing him the ball, but Rhett Sawyer said, "Not so fast, my friend," and stuffing that hole, and that was only good for a 1-yard gain.
See, the chat's just fortunate that it's a close game, because otherwise we'd be breaking out the quotes, James. You know we've got it going. We've got those dodgeball quotes.
Well, now that we've dug into Britney Spears, I think we've got it going. Christensen all day to go, under pressure, and he is going to be sacked. He had some great blocking there. But as you know, blocking will not last forever. Number 69, KT Taylor, coming around from his defensive end position, saying, Christensen, sit down, please. 3rd and 12, 8:04 left to go here in the third quarter. Tulsa doing their best defense here. And this is another cover 0. Look at this. We've got a special one here. Cover 0. Christensen dropped a pass. He throws it deep, and it is almost picked off. Man, Tulsa's looking good in this cover 0. Lane Freeman. Folks, if you don't know what a cover 0 is, that is a full-out man-to-man. It looks like Tulsa's double-teaming Gossett and Wilson, and they're just relying on the rest of their defense to pick up everybody else. And so far it's worked. They almost got burnt the first time. That time, beautiful covers there on the defense, and that's going to force Tallahassee to send out Howard McCoy to try to pin them deep.
Yeah, you know, Dion's clearly done his homework when it comes. You know, he's got the plays that Tallahassee like to run in the playbook, and he's gone out and said, well, let's see if we can maybe press them a bit more than most teams would. A lot of teams in the league play zone, and man's not necessarily as prominent as it may be in other leagues. So they're doing well so far, Tulsa, and 6-6. You're a 9-2 team coming up against a team which has won 18 straight in the regular season. And you're putting up one hell of a show so far. So great work by Tulsa.
Martin under pressure, throws a quick pass, and it is complete. That is good over to number 13, Corey Jones. I believe that's his first reception of the game. So far, neither quarterback looking that great. However, both teams' special teams have looked really, really good. And it looks like they're potentially reviewing it here. Oh no, they're gonna let it go. Let's see. And here comes the flag. Frank Gooden said, "Not today. My birthday's tomorrow. I'm damn near 50, and I'm not gonna let you get away with these type of catches." And he throws the flag and says, "Home field refs, get the hell out of here. You're gonna call a clean game, damn it."
And you know, the thing about Michael Martin is he is that release valve. Even if this is an incompletion, looks like he's just about got his foot in there, James. I think they might.
Well, we'll see. R62's had worse calls in his life, so we'll see.
But, you know, Michael Martin, he is that release valve. They got the completion there. That's just another example of some great West Coast play, getting the ball out quickly, those short, medium route passes. And, you know, that's a good completion from Tulsa. They're keeping the offense rolling, if not steamrolling this Tallahassee Pride defense, this well-renowned Tallahassee Pride D-line. See what I can come up with here.
Yeah, Michael Martin under center, 2 tight ends. And he checks it outside, and that time I don't think R62 can give him that one. That one well out of bounds. That was passed out to Stephen Bush. That's no good. That's going to bring up a 2nd and 10. Ball on the Tulsa 26-yard line. 7:35 here to go in the 3rd quarter. Charles Ball in the chat says, nobody challenges like us. And so far he's right. Deion Hawkins 2-0 on challenges today. Or 1-0, and maybe Frank Gooden's 0-1. I can't remember. We got to get an official stat for that.
Yeah,
Martin
Frank,
under pressure. Throwing on the run. It's a tip drill. And luckily that ball falls harmlessly to the ground.
Yeah, Frank went and challenged that completion earlier from Tulsa and was unsuccessful. But you have to wonder if that might come back to haunt the Pride. You're early in the 2nd half. It's a tight ball game. Tulsa can get a touchdown on the board, one of those precious touchdowns that I only had 2 of so far this season, James. If they can pick up one, get a single score game, at least 7 points against Tallahassee going into the 4th quarter. I don't think we either expected that this would be such a low-scoring game from Tallahassee, and it may end up being that they're forced into just scrapping it out against Tulsa here.
Quick out complete. Toe drag swag here by Stephen Bush. That time catches it for about 5 yards, but that's about 5 yards too short. And Tulsa's going to have to send out the punt team. Christian Punt said, I swear R62 looked me straight in the eyes as he made that call. And he probably did, Christian. You're probably right. Number 16 here, Cortland Weaver out to punt the ball away. And, folks, we've had a very good defensive battle on our hand. Neither team has been great defensively this year. Tallahassee coming in 5th with points allowed, but 14th in passing yards allowed, 12th in rushing yards allowed, 18 in total yards allowed. And Tulsa coming in with 20th in points allowed, 16th in passing yards allowed, 18th in rushing yards allowed, and 13th in yards allowed per game. And I think, you know, after this type of game, unless somebody blows the roof off, they're gonna move up in the standings here with their defensive performances that they put on today. Christian Christensen under center, twins to the bottom side. 1 tight end, 1 halfback, 1 receiver at the top. 5-step drop. He's under pressure. He shakes one guy off. He's going to move, and then he gets drilled in the back. Number 58 with the sack here. Let's see who they credit that with. I saw 58. I may be wrong. I'm getting old. I just turned 30 myself. My eyes are failing. Number 50, Cook with the sack. J. Bam Bam Cook on the sack. And I believe it was KT Taylor with the initial pressure. Could be wrong on that as well. Christian Christensen in the shotgun. 4 wide receivers. Quick out pass, and that is complete to Ken Gossett. Number 84 for the Pride. And that is good for about 6 yards, maybe more. My math is also failing me. Anyways, 3rd and 4. Ball on the Tallahassee 35.
Another third down here for Tallahassee, James, and Tulsa again just doing their best to grind out these drives and make them really earn those. And they come out and
we're in a cover 1 here.
They come out and go with the cover 0. They're doing it because they've really earned the right to do so. Tallahassee haven't done anything so far, uncharacteristically so. They haven't done anything so far to prove that they can get the ball up the field maybe as consistently as we would expect from them. They had a good few drives early in the 1st half, but since then it's been just absent, really.
Yeah, ball back to receive this punt from Howard McCoy here. And I agree. I've never seen a team run cover 1, cover 0 this well. And I think that's just a credit to this defensive line. Gib Lito, Rhett Sawyer getting pressure on Christian Christensen. And even Espen Rayel has come on the blitz a few times. And they're just getting so much pressure. And they're getting into the former MVP's head, Christian Christensen. And he has thrown some ugly passes and has yet to be able to throw and get Tallahassee on the board.
Do you think maybe they've earned they decided to go with some of this cover 0, cover 1 as a result of the past couple of weeks? You know, they've been doing more contemporary stuff within the league, I suppose you would say.
I think
the defense.
I think it's a combination of things. Coming into the season, Frank said we're going to run the ball more, so they gave Eniola a huge contract, which obviously takes away from your other cap space players. So naturally, they're going to be a little lower value. They're not going to give you the same type of performance. So it's almost like Tallahassee said, you know what, we're going to give up our ability to just kill you early, but we're going to peak later on. And Tulsa has seen that, and they said, well, they're going to run the ball, so we're just going to go cover 0, cover 1, and we're going to pressure them. And if they beat us through the air, so be it. But Christian Christensen hasn't shown the knack to be able to do that so far this year.
No, absolutely, James. I think Tulsa, the main thing that they've got to do is start, converting some of these first downs. We're on one here. It looks like something about throw.
It's a deep one, and it is almost picked off. That time they challenged Michael Sprouse on that play, and he came up big there. That's the #1 Spouse brother, so I don't know. He came up big in the Indy game as well, and that time he said, "You're not going to throw a fade route on me, my friend."
Yeah, I've got to say, James, it's going a bit off tack here, but these Desparados uniforms are amazing.
Yeah,
I've got to say.
Well, Dion,
Rashkar's saying in chat, Tallahassee, if they were wearing those paw print uniforms that they made so famous, they'd be winning this game right now. So
I hate those paw print uniforms. Tallahassee's the best team with the ugliest uniforms in the league. Like they're so good that they can come out with little cat paw prints on their uniform, and nobody's gonna question them because they look so good. So I actually prefer the all whites to the paw print unis. But back to your initial point, Tulsa looks great. They have probably been the best looking uniform team. This will be the second straight year in a row. Normally it's hard to pull off red and green, but they do it well. Handoff up the middle to Eniola, and he said, screw your uniforms. I'm going to take it to the house, folks. Eniola taking it all the way. Didn't even get touched by one person, and he's taking it all the way to the house, and he said, I don't care if you don't like my uniforms. You can take your pretty uniforms, and I'm going to take 6 points. Takes it all the way, folks, to the house.
Just like that. Like that yellow and purple streak going right down the side of that Tallahassee.
Not one person touched him,
all the way. No, absolutely great run in there by Eniola. There's not even a guy within like 10 yards of him by the end zone. But, you can just have a play like that happen, and that completely throws your game plan out of the window for Tulsa. They're going to have to change things up now, try and get that touchdown and pull back into it. Only 2 touchdowns again across the course of the season so far for Tulsa. They need to correct that if they're going to win this game.
Yeah, Tallahassee over 3. Now this is the 3rd game, but they have shown to be a very momentum-heavy team. In the Indianapolis game, Indianapolis dominated them for most of the game, and then we saw Jaye Eniola rip off a huge 60-something, 70-something yard run, and it totally swung the momentum of that game. Then we saw week 2, Atlanta putting up a very solid performance, and then they made 2 pick 6 in a row that really just swung the game in the opposite direction to give Tallahassee their 2nd one in a row. Now we see Tulsa, an 0-2 team who statistically hasn't played that well this year, played him tough all the way up to here, and then Jaye puts him on his back and rips off another 80-yard touchdown run. So we'll see if Tulsa can buck the trend here and regain the momentum. But so far, if history proves itself right, Tallahassee has just taken that momentum and said, this is our game. We're not going to let you hang around forever.
Hey, you're absolutely right, James. Momentum's such a big thing in the SFL. And Tulsa are going to have to pick it back up now. Stuffed behind the line for the first play of this drive. EJ DeQ on the tackle. If he keeps penetrating and this D-line keeps penetrating and getting through to the quarterback and halfback before they even may have able to make anything happen, Tallahassee should be good for the win here. But we'll see.
Well, I know Dion and I know this Tulsa team well. As I played them twice last season. They don't just roll over, folks. This is a very hardened team. And they're going to do a draw play up here to Sanzo. He's going to pick up some really nice yards there, and it's going to bring up a 3rd and manageable here for the Tulsa Desparados. And folks, I'm looking over now. We've got 41 viewers watching this great game that we have here, but only 27 thumbs up. We were doing so well.
And just to keep people abreast of what's going on around the league, OKC 23, New Orleans 24 in the 3rd quarter, Houston 17, Atlanta 13 the 2nd, posted by Simulation FL earlier. 4th down here for Tulsa. They're not going away from so far this game. They're going to continue running the ball with Sonzo Robinson. Once you start getting into the 4th quarter, middle of the 4th quarter, that's when time really starts to play in the minds of the coaching staff. And Tulsa have done well in the coaching so far. They just haven't been so lucky in getting down the field and getting points on the board in terms of touchdowns. So let's see what they can do here, James.
Yeah, another punt there by Weaver. Or is that his name? Yeah, Weaver, right? Yeah, Weaver.
I believe so.
There's a Wheeler and a Weaver. Woo. Quick reference over to my roster sheet here, and it was Cortland Weaver. Another punt by him. I'm sure he would like to punt the ball less as the season goes on. But let's see if Charles Ball and that wee ball secondary can put Christian Christensen in some difficult positions here. Tallahassee leads 13-6. Christian stepping up under pressure, throws across the middle and into danger. And that time the ball was broken up by number 44, Gus Jones.
And, you know, he got the hand on it there. And I just looking at that, I thought he might have enough on to get the pick. That would have been seriously impressive stuff from Tulsa. And as it is, 2nd and 10, Tallahassee, not as all-conquering as they have been. They're in the shotgun here with a back split out right from Christensen.
Yes.
If they pass it here.
Yeah, shotgun look here. 3 wide. He's going to take a 3-step drop. He throws a quick out route, and that's going to be incomplete. And that's going to bring up a 3rd and 10 for Christian Christensen and the Tallahassee Pride.
Gossett just not able to get his feet in bounds there to get the short completion. It made this 3rd down a lot more manageable. And as it is, Tulsa's strategy, you know, they're not throwing it out the window. They're sticking to what they've done well so far, and it looks like they're going to come away with a takeaway here of some sort, whether it be a punt or whether it be a kick. Tallahassee's got 3 out wide right though.
Christensen on a 3-step drop. Great play. Pass defended very well by number 49, Richard Newton, the non-star linebacker. And that's they're going to send out McCoy here to punt it away. And, you know, as we were talking about Jaye Eniola putting him on the back last drive, or putting him on his back, that's where I would have gone. I think Christian Christensen has proven that, you know, this Tulsa defense is up to par for this passing game. And I would have said, let's just ride it out with Eniola and see, you know, just how many yards he can get us. But that so far hasn't been true for the Pride. And they're going to punt it away to Ball here. And he's going to take it about the 41-yard line, breaks a few tackles, gains a couple more yards, and that's going to set up Michael Martin and company with pretty good field position here at the Tulsa 42.
And, you know, it's not been an excellent day for Frank. Team's in the lead by a single score. He's not had the kind of coaching day that you would expect from one of the top coaches in the league. But I think I'd be very surprised if we don't see Tallahassee run it a bit more now that they've got that cushion.
3-step drop, and he throws it deep, and it is almost picked off by Matthew Sprouse. Great coverage. And we're seeing Michael Martin test this cover too. And so far, the Tallahassee Pride have really held up strong. Dangerous throw there by Michael Martin. Neither quarterback has looked all that impressive today. Michael Martin obviously taking more deep risk than Christian Christensen. But, you know, neither quarterback has really impressed me too much. And looks like a nice play up the middle. Sanzo getting stuffed there. Number 74, Hunter Norwood, taking over the offensive line that time.
The thing is, James, when the most important player on the field is not performing to the standard that you would expect or you would hope, you need to have something else to really give you the edge. And so far today, that's been Jaye Eniola And
Jaya.
the single Jaya, I got it. The single
Deep pass,
touchdown.
corner route, and it almost was picked off there by Michael Sprouse. That time, Michael Martin showing his cannon. And, you know, to your point, Liam, anytime a team tries to reorganize their roster in a way that Tulsa has, right? Dion said, hey, I'm getting a little long in the tooth. It's time to bring in another running back, try to groom another running back to do what we did. Sanzo's had a very historic career, you know, in Baltimore, and then he played wide receiver last season. Now he's back to running back. But it's hard to replace a legend like Deion Hawkins. It's hard to replace the kind of player that Deion Hawkins was for the Desperados. But now that Deion's, you know, coaching full time and giving that role over to somebody else, it's just a matter of time before Sanzo starts looking like Deion Hawkins. It's just a matter of time before that teaching and that training rubs off onto Sanzo.
And you know that's what player progression does for you, James. You know, we've seen seasons in past in the SFL where you didn't have that kind of progression in the way that teams are built. So I think that's been a major positive to the league. Have a good pick up there for Tallahassee, get the first down. Christensen. I think that probably put into just over 100 there.
Yeah, nice throw out to, I believe that was Duke Wilson on the reception, and he turned it upfield. Picked up quite a few yards. That was almost 8 extra yards after the catch. And that's going to bring him a first down here for the Tallahassee Pride. Another big run here by Eniola. And a touchdown-saving tackle here by Richard Newton on the play. Folks, I apologize. I had to go outside the studio here. Apparently, it is bring your dog to the park here in Tulsa. As you can hear, they're going crazy.
Yeah, we've got the security guards on it, James. We're going to get those dogs. But, you know, great running there from Eniola. Another big pickup, and it's just a deciding edge between these two teams at the moment. Eniola's running. I thought you were speechless for a second there when you were watching that. I mean, seeing this Tulsa team getting gashed on a few runs now, and I think you were just shocked that they had done it again.
You know, I donate to PETA every year, and this is how these animals repay me, Liam. They're just gonna bark up a storm, try to ruin our near perfect broadcast, you know, and I'm just not going to allow it. So I had to step out and yell a little bit. But Eniola taking looks to be a dive play up the middle, brought down by the generic linebacker here for the Desperados, number 41. And here's a story. Not only has Espen Rael led this defensive effort here for the Desperados, but the non-star linebackers have really put up a good showing for both teams, both Tallahassee and Tulsa. Christensen under pressure, steps up in the pocket, throws a quick out, and that is a rare drop here by Duke Wilson. Good defense here by number 31, Lane Freeman, coming up from the free safety position.
Well, if the Pride had gotten that first down there, I think they would have been counting their lucky stars. Christensen nearly sacked there by the defensive tackle, and then Duke Wilson with the drop. He, you know, lucky to get his hands on it with the close pressure he was under. Tulsa are going to get the ball back. They're going to try and drive down once more, get that third touchdown of the season. I mean, I'm amazed that they haven't had more. I mean, they've looked pretty fair on offense today. Sanzo Robinson hasn't had as much of a game as we were hoping for, I don't think. Michael Martin's been inconsistent at best, I think you would say. He's had those passes out to Stephen Bush, which have looked pretty promising, the post routes, but they just need to try and go to that a bit more.
Yeah, Christian Punt in the chat says QBR goes to 0.00, and I'm telling you folks, both these quarterbacks are really flirting. getting real close to that 0 QBR mark, as both quarterbacks have thrown a billion interceptions.
One of them was around 10, I think. I recall when the stats came up. But...
yeah, I believe it's Christian. Christensen. Man, that's a mouthful. Another handoff up the middle to Sonzo Robinson. As you can see here, 1.3 yards per carry. And folks, that's going to do it here for the third quarter. The Tallahassee Pride lead the Desparados 13-6. And put up your 4s in the chat, folks. It is time. We're going here into the fourth quarter. Michael Martin, let's see if he's got some magic in his bones. They're only down, I believe, 7 points here, if I can do quick math, as Big Shaq in London would say, do quick math. And we see a strong I formation handoff up the middle to Sonzo. He's going to drag a few defenders with him, and that's going to bring up a 3rd and 3. Ah, beautiful. I'm seeing the wall of 4s go up, folks. Keep it coming. Keep it coming. Let's get all the 4s we can. Keep them rolling in, folks. This is a big fourth quarter for both of these teams. One team trying to make it 19 straight. The other trying to break their 0-2 start and get back on the track to the playoffs. And Michael Martin leading the charge here. 3rd and 3. It's a counter play up the middle, and it is just trashed. Right there, Hunter Norwood. We're going to call him the trash man, taking that trash out and bringing up a 4th and 5 here for Tulsa.
Yeah, this is going to put Tulsa as it stands further adrift in the south. You're looking at the other OKC up 30-27 against New Orleans, and Houston 20-13 against Atlanta at the moment. It's a really tough conference, that Southern. I think Tulsa are going to be quite far adrift by the time the games are done today, if it stays as it is. Let's see if with the ball just inside their half, Tallahassee are in real strong position to get at least another 3 points on the board and can't really put this out of sight now.
Yeah, how impressive has OKC been? I don't necessarily think they've played a high caliber, a high strength schedule, but man, 2-0, and they're a quarter away, I believe, from going 4-0 or 3-0, excuse me. So great start for a franchise that barely squeaked into the playoffs last season. Atlanta having some Tallahassee hangovers apparently, but Houston, no team to sleep on. And we see Christensen finding Ken Gossett across on the slant route, and that's good for a Pride first down. Let's see, Tulsa looks like they're sitting back here in a cover 3, giving a ton of space to this trips bunch to the top. And it's a 3-step drop, quick out to Ajayi Eniola, and he is going to drag him over. And it looks like they pushed him out of bounds, so they're going to stop the clock. 2nd and 6 here for the Tallahassee Pride.
Bit of a questionable call there, James. Eniola wasn't looking free wide receivers out wide on the left there. You know, I would have been saying to Eniola if I was Frank Giddin, I'd just say, you know, try not to go out of bounds. Try and get as many yards as possible to give us second down. Good position.
And he shakes off.
Oh, he's broken away.
Oh, and that's a big hit there by Kanye Rockefeller, but not before. Jaye Eniola shrugs. It's very rare you see these off-kilter power offense plays work like that. When there's a running back, single back right, and it was a power, I believe a power to the right, which means the right side guard is pulling. It almost looked like a counter, and he got hit in the backfield, and he broke it, and picked up a first down. That was all Eniola on that play. Christensen, 3-step drop, quick pass out to Eniola, and that's going to be a loss of 1 on the play. You know, I think they should just hand it off to him. Stop throwing it to him. Just give him the damn ball.
I was thinking that's the same thing that's happened on the last set. They've gone out on first down and they've thrown it out to the flats. I bet you're going to see him run it here. Down. Put my wizard's hat on. Put my psychic hat on here.
Well, even if they don't get a first down this drive, they're in field goal range. So as long as they don't lose more yards, and that pass was good over to Wilson there. Duke Wilson picking up about 7 yards on the play, and that's going to bring up a 3rd and 3. Even if they're held to a field goal attempt here, that still makes it a 2-score game, and Tulsa hasn't shown the ability to put points on the board. So, you know, that might be the deciding factor here if Tallahassee can put points on the board this drive.
And this is where the clock really starts to come into things.
Yeah, counter play here. And
that's why those plays on first down where they're throwing it out to the flats and getting Eniola to try and run out to the sideline. It's probably not the smartest thing. I mean, you're still looking at if they get this, still looking at a 10-point game. So Tulsa not out of this yet.
Yeah, Richard Douglas coming out for his 3rd field goal attempt. He's 2 for 2 on the day with 1 extra point. And the bad snap, but it's held and it's up. And it is good. Richard Douglas converting for his 3rd field goal of the day, a perfect 3 for 3. And that is going to put up the Pride by 10 here in Tulsa, Oklahoma. And that might be it, Liam. We talked about the momentum of that huge Eniola run earlier in the 3rd. And so far, that's been true. Both teams looking kind of stale, but this time, Tallahassee able to put up 3 points.
Well, we've seen where the Pride are looking a bit soft. I mean, it's those long balls out. And I know that we've seen elsewhere in the league this season where the long pass has been as profitable as it has been today. I don't think necessarily that Tulsa will have game planned with the long pass in mind, but maybe they should have with the way that people like Michael Martin and Stephen Bush have been connecting up. Andre Godspeed hasn't been as prominent, or Andre Godspeed, sorry. He hasn't been as prominent in the game as I thought he might be. Someone I know well from my time in London with Martin as well. Let's see what they can do in this drive.
Yeah, trap play here, and that is going nowhere. Brought down by a host of Pride, number 91 and number 96. Taquan Hale and EJ DeQ respectively. And yeah, you know, I don't know, right? The teams that have had success throwing the ball deep against Tallahassee are teams that have spent money on those positions to go deep. And I'm not sure, you know, I don't have the values for these contracts for these wide receivers, but, you know, they're not, you know, the same receivers that Indianapolis employs. And Sanzo, man, getting ran over. Taquan Hale says, "Excuse me, sir, this is my backfield. You're just living in it." And
well, does that not say it all, James? Less than a yard on average, I believe, and only 15 yards in a day compared to Eniola, who has 185, and he's just had a good day today. He's really been Tallahassee's difference maker on the game today.
You know, and this could be telling. Maybe Dion's trying to shift to a more pass-heavy offense, and as we say that, he throws it deep, and that looks to be Corey Jones on the post route there, and that's going to be a big first down here for the Desparados. But, you know, maybe their plan was to integrate 3 wide receivers this season, you know, have Sanzo pick up running back duty, and then maybe next season they're going to go 4 wide. And so that would explain, you know, maybe the struggles that Sanzo's having this season so far, and maybe that explains, you know, the pass-heavy mentality that Tulsa's been employing.
It certainly makes an interesting case for maybe the bronze and silver running backs, and even hockey, you might say, being quite overvalued. I mean, we know just how effective a good, strong gold running back can be. We've seen it in Eniola today. Someone like Ray Bentley, for example, when you compare him to Robinson, Ray's had some pretty good games, but he's not necessarily been up to the same standard. I think we only really truly saw the first glimpses of real altered beast last week in his game that we covered. So it's going to be interesting to see how the league kind of takes action on that. But Tulsa are doing the right thing, I think, with trying to go to the pass more. Good pass there to get within 3rd and inches. And they got an opportunity here, if not to get the touchdown, to at least maybe get some points on the board. I think I'd probably like to see a few more yards here from the 3rd down and inches.
And Sanzo looking very much like a wide receiver that play. Getting into 3rd and inches, and Tulsa's going to come out in a single back heavy look. Got a fullback and a tight end, or an extra O lineman, it looks like, down at the bottom of your screen. And that was a weird, I don't know if that's on the offense or defense.
Yeah, that was the offense. I think he he full started.
That was the weirdest looking penalty I have seen pretty much ever in SFL history. It looked like Michael Martin wanted the ball, but they didn't give it to him, and he just was dropping back with no ball in his hand. And well, it's going to bring up a 3rd and 5 here for the Desperados.
Yeah, it looked really weird. It looked like the offensive lineman. He looked like he called a timeout to me. You obviously, once he's set, you can't just then stand up.
Right.
Bizarre.
Well, they're going to come out in 4 wide shotgun look. He throws it on a post route across the middle, and that is complete. Corey Jones dragging defenders. They're going to go no huddle here, folks. 4:38 to go here in the 4th quarter. The Desperados down by 10. Michael Martin on the drive. 4 wide receivers here. And he's under pressure, and he's going to shake off a sack, but he cannot shake off 2. And that time it looked to be Kevin Bain from the defensive end position, but not before Taquan Hill got the pressure. They're going to go no huddle here. 4:15 to go. Martin 3-step drop. He throws it deep, and it's tipped. And it's incomplete. Great play there by Matthew Sprouse and the strong safety over the coverage there to help out over top. And that's going to bring up a 3rd and 19 here for the Desperados. 4:10 left to go here in the 4th quarter. Ball on the Tallahassee 33-yard line.
You know, those wide receivers for Tulsa look so tired getting. I'm not sure if they really have an impact on this 3rd and long. They did it last.
Yeah, let's see. Michael Martin, empty backfield. He throws a quick corner route, and it is almost picked off. Folks, Matthew Sprouse saying, "Give it to me, baby." And that's going to bring up a 4th and 19. And if you're Tulsa, I think you got to go for the points here.
Well, you're not permitted to make any Britney Spears references anymore, James. But, you know, that was a real questionable play call by Michael Martin when you've got the, points not in the bag necessarily. We've got a generic kicker on the play here, non-contract kicker. So let's see if he can get those 3 points and then bring it back to a single score. Try and tie the game up on their next possession.
The kick is up. And it's no good, folks. Andrew Wheeler short-legged it, and that is possibly going to be a disastrous turn of events here. Oh, that is a heartbreaker. And that was about a 46, 47-yard attempt, and he just did not get enough leg behind it. Both kickers have been very reliable today. And Andrew Wheeler, the first victim of the generic kicker headache, I guess you would call it. I had no idea what you'd call that. But
yeah, you know, I don't blame the kicker though on that one. I mean, it's pretty dodgy offensive play calling in any case, which got Michael Martin into that situation where it was 3rd and 19 and needing to come up with something big. I mean, in the end, the interception would have been more profitable for them than the kick, it looks like. Tallahassee, a 45-yard line on their own half of the field. They end up just giving it to Eniola. They're real game changers today. You think he's just going to run it out and win the game now for them?
Yeah, I reckon so. They're definitely going to milk the clock here, which is dangerous because anytime you creep up expecting to run, you know, Eniola can break it deep. And so these linebackers have got to play it just right. And on that time they did. Tackled by number 49. We've been calling his number, Richard Newton, coming up big all day long. Really, this Tulsa defense has really played above, you know, what they should have according to all the papers and all the stats that we saw coming into today's game. They've really played above and beyond in a really solid game here out of this defense. But, you know, Tallahassee, man, they just keep coming. They just keep winning, and I don't know how, and we'll see if that holds true. But so far, Frank Gooden looking at number 19, win in a row, 2:40 left to go. And it's a counter play. Eniola getting some room, and that is good for a first down. And he's going to strut his stuff. And tick-tock, 2:30 to go. I doubt we see a play here before the 2-minute warning, Liam.
Yeah, and, you know, I think that probably does it here. And like you said, Tulsa's defense, they look pretty good. They got to another first down there. And I'd said throughout the game, you know, they've been grinding these situations out where Tallahassee offensively have not been playing at the same standard, but Eniola has just simply been too much for them in the end. And that's really credit to Frank. He didn't have the best game, I don't think, on the sideline today, but he's developed that balanced offense. They've really come out and adapted to the situation as it's arisen.
And that's with that carry, Jaye Eniola gets up over 200 yards, 206, one rushing touchdown, and we commented on that one rushing touchdown potentially being the straw that broke the camel's back, and it held up. You know, Tulsa, despite their best efforts, appear like they're going to fall short here at home to the Tallahassee Pride. And what an early birthday gift Frank's getting with another W in his 19th straight win. Hand off to Eniola. He's going to break outside, folks. And man, whew, Richard Newton saving potentially a game-ending touchdown. But there's another timeout Tulsa having to burn due to the first down. And if they want, I think they can burn out the clock here, Liam.
Yeah, I mean, why worry about the game-ending touchdown when you're trying to stop a game-ending first down? And that's really what the situation that we're in with Tulsa. But there's a lot to be taken away from this game for Dion. They've looked good within the context of certain situations. Defensively, I think they've been far more prolific than we had seen from them previously. You know, they've been all over the ball. You see a situation there where they get to the running back and don't give him the chance to really make a play happen. It's just been across the course of the game that Eniola has really worn them down and been able to pick up near enough 200 yards and a couple of touchdowns. So it's just been offensively. They need to come up with some solution for their difficulties, because if you score 6 in a game all season, you're never going to get anywhere near, you know, under a touchdown a game at the moment.
And Eniola, he is running people over, folks. And with that, Tulsa burns their very last timeout. And, folks, I think this one's all but over here in Tulsa. Look at that run. Good night. That's a grown man, folks.
He's definitely put himself in contention for Player of the Week there, Eniola, offensively. And Tallahassee going to 19 games, regular season games, victorious straight. That's just an incredible stat for Frank. And, you know, I think he'll be thinking, yeah, that's all well and good, but with the team that we had last season and the team that we had this season, they really need to go and put a championship on the mantle. This team is too good not to have 0 titles to their name. Is season 11 really going to be the one where they go to playoffs and really stamp their authority? We thought they had done it last season. They came up against the methodical Mighty RX Max and his Alaska Storm, and they were just outmatched when it came to the championship game. But this season, they haven't been necessarily as dominant as we'd seen last season. Certainly putting up 16 points up against Tulsa, a weak Tulsa team that we've seen so far, certainly compared to how they did last season. That's going to concern them a little bit. But you just know that Frank will go out, he'll adapt to what he's seen, he'll get the plays in the playbook that they need to become more prolific offensively, and they're going to work on those interceptions. Christian Christensen with 22 QB rating, which is not something you'd expect to see out of him. In the end of the day, it's another win on the board for Tallahassee. They'll go into next week with a 100% record. See what they can do the rest of the season. I hope I'll see them again, because they've been looking at their effervescent self, I suppose we should say.
Yeah, great job, both teams. They look fantastic, folks. If you're a little down in Tulsa because of an 0-3 start, don't. We've seen worse teams come back and make it to the playoffs. You know, have faith in Dion. He knows what he's doing, folks. He's a great coach. And, you know, they just got to get the build to catch up to the strategies. And that'll do it, folks, here in Tulsa, Oklahoma. The Pride getting their 19th straight W here in Tulsa, Oklahoma. feel like I've said Oklahoma City, but I could be wrong. But anyways, good game. Liam, it's been a pleasure calling this game with you folks. You have been amazing. Thank you for tuning in. Be sure to hit that like button, and thank you for tuning in to another broadcast of the SFL brought to you by APM Music. Thank you, and have a good night.
Have a good one, guys.